Happy early morning, YouTube. Were the Leafs on the West Coast last night in Vancouver? Yes. Did I stay up late to watch the game? Yes. Was it worth it? It seems so, although I am super tired right now, as you can tell by my video last night. Last night was the first example that I've seen of what the Leafs are capable under Sheldon Keefe's leadership and playing the more run and gun, wide open style of offensive game that the management team right now that are all on board with kind of envisioning, right? Vancouver in the end held a decent edge in shots. They had 10 or 11 more than the Leafs. It was like 39-26 or something like that. But over the course of the game, I felt as though the Leafs had the puck a lot more than Vancouver did. Their possession game was on. Like, this is kind of what they're gunning for with this team, right? And yeah, it just, in their skill shone through in that type of game. The downside, as the commentators were mentioning, is that when you do run and gun like that, you do suffer defensive laps just because your defensemen are coming up and joining the rush and jumping in to take chances. And Freddie was really good. He stopped at least 4 breakaways, 2 for Besser alone. When he tried glove side, when he tried stick side, Freddie got him both times. He had a really good game. And he actually had a shutout going right until the middle of the third period, which it's too bad he couldn't get it, but the win is most important. And yeah, the first period was scoreless, and the atmosphere was crazy. It seemed like a playoff game. The crowd was into it. It was like half Leaf fans, half Canuck fans, so they were kind of battling back and forth. The pace on the ice was crazy. Like, it seemed like a playoff game in that style too, and just the intensity and the speed of the game. And first period, like I said, was scoreless. Second period, just a couple minutes in, Matthews scored after some good work down low by Tavares, and he kind of backhanded a pass out in front to Matthews. And then just with less than a minute to play in the period, Tavares got his stick on a shot and tipped it past Markstrom for a 2-0 lead heading into the third. Kind of a positive to the negative, I guess, was that just past the halfway point when the Canucks got on the board, it was Josh Leivo that scored, who is an ex-Maple Leaf, and I really wish they had held on to him until they got rid of Babs, because I think for some reason, Babcock played his favorites, which was one of my least favorite things about him, and for some reason he did not want to play Josh Leivo. And this guy is a young talent, not a top-end talent like a lot of these top Leafs and Canucks players, but he's got that all-around Canadian type of game. He's got a really good shot. He plays a gritty game, and he just looks like a hockey player. He looks like a guy you want to have on your team, and he is the guy who shattered Freddie's goose egg in the third period there. So good for him. I know he didn't enjoy his time in Toronto because he was a healthy scratch more than not. So way more than not. So it's too bad it went that way in Toronto, because like I said, I'd really like to see him on this Leaf team. I think he would be unbelievable, but it unfolded the way it unfolded, and you can't do anything about it, and that's the way it is. And the Leafs have a good team despite that, and it's all the different paths that teams can take depending on who's running it and stuff, right? So anyways, getting off topic there. The Leafs responded back not long after Leivo's goal that cut it to 2-1, and again it was Tavares. There was some good puck movement in the Vancouver end, and Tavares was left with tons of time in front of the net, and he just wired one far stick side on Markstrom, and that was pretty much it. Hyman would add on a late one to make it 4-1, and that was the final. So the Leafs' intensity, and you can tell even. They had 2 power play chances, didn't convert on the power plays. They had 2 penalty kill situations. They converted both of those, so that's good. But you can tell even when the Leafs weren't on a power play, when it was 5-on-5, they weren't stagnant like they had gotten. The players were always moving around. They kept their feet moving. They were always getting open, and because of that, their puck movement was just like bing, 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 and it was just a totally different looking Leaf team than you saw 2-3 a month ago, 3 weeks ago and a month ago, and the way they were at the start of the season. So it's encouraging. Again, the defensive giveaways and chances against are concerning, so hopefully they can find a way to temper this new style with a bit more of prevention on the defensive side. But a 4-1 win in Vancouver with that kind of output and intensity is a really good start to this road trip, and hopefully a trend of the way this team's going to play from now on. So A+.